At the time Governor Samuel Ortom took oath as the 5th democratically elected governor of Benue State on 29th May 2015, the state was under siege of insecurity. People were being robbed, kidnapped and killed indiscriminately. He hit the ground running by initiating an amnesty program.
We call on all unlawful armed persons who have been terrorizing innocent citizens to immediately surrender their arms. And when you surrender your arms, you will be free. And you will get integrated into our reform program. Or we shall pursue you wherever you go, down to your home.
The program utilized the carrot and stick approach, with the former lasting for 4 months.
Anybody that was found with illegal arms was going to be dealt with according to the provisions of the law. And so that is the stick side. The carrot side was giving you the amnesty.
At the end, hundreds of youths surrendered over 500 assorted weapons and thousands of ammunitions. The greatest catch was Mr. Tewase Akwaza, a notorious gang leader who surrendered over 84 weapons. Governor Ortom entered into collaboration with the governors of Taraba and Nasarawa states and other critical stakeholders in the search for peace and security between Benue and those states. When in spite of these efforts, herdsmen invaded communities in Agatu and other local government areas of the state, he made spirited efforts with the presidency, the Chief of Army Staff and the Inspector General of Police to bring the situation under control. The state and local governments procured 20 pickup vehicles for security surveillance, while relief materials were also given to those displaced. The schools of nursing and midwifery, as well as College of Technology Agasha, which lost accreditation for 3 years by the time Governor Ortom assumed office, have been reconstructed for reaccreditation. Still in the health sector, Governor Ortom has released 80 million naira out of the 114 million naira earmarked for the completion of the Cancer Screening Center, Makudi, and work on it is nearing completion. The project has received a boost with the support of the governor's wife, Dr. Eunice Ortom, who also recently launched the Eunice Spring of Life Foundation to complement government's effort in the fight against cancer.
My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. I watched her suffer, and as children, my siblings and I endured her long absences each time she left in search of a cure from one hospital to another until we eventually lost her. I have often wondered if the story would have been different if we had a cancer center in Benue State.
The Benue State University was under lock and key as a result of strike action by unions at the institution, even as medical students who had stagnated at the College of Health Sciences for 12 years on account of non-accreditation were about to lose yet another year. The Ortom administration swung into action, reopened the university and paid all the accreditation requirements, paving way for the graduation of 40 medical doctors.
Today we are happy to report to Your Excellency that your support to the college since you came on board as Executive Governor and visitor to the university has finally realized the dream of full accreditation program for the MBBS program.
One or two persons in this hall will bear witness. It was a day of mourning. I cried personally. We shed tears in this very banquet hall. But our hope, coming with change, is what has given us joy. We want to commend you for that break of bureaucratic bottlenecks. This has actually brought us close to this government.
In his efforts to address the high level of infrastructural decay in the state on inception, Governor Ortom obtained a 10 billion naira infrastructure facility provided by the federal government, with which He awarded contract for the construction of 24-kilometer mobile barracks at Deke, Yaikyo Road and 40.4-kilometer Oibo, Mandeako, Bajimba Road. Governor Ortom also mobilized contractors back to site to complete 11 abandoned roads across the state, as well as released 300 million naira for completion of new Benue State House of Assembly complex. Governor Ortom had made history as the first state in the nation to meet requirements for accessing the 2015 round of Millennium Development Goals and Sustainable Development Goals conditional grants in Nigeria by paying 1.2 billion naira counterpart funds. Many of the projects are currently ongoing throughout the state.
We are happy and pleased to be associated with this government and the NDG office. We have seen that there is commitment for the right thing to be done, and so we know that change has come to Benue.
The projects we are flagging up today are in tandem with the 5 pillars of my administration.
The 5 pillars of the administration are good governance and revenue security, agriculture-driven industrialization, STEM-based education and healthcare delivery, provision of critical infrastructure and women, gender, youth, sports and people with disabilities. Determined to boost the economy of the state through agricultural-driven industrialization, Governor Ortom awarded contract for the construction and equipping of laboratories at Akbaran Oshi College of Agriculture Yandev and signed agreement with Tora KFT for completion and takeover of Wanune Tomato Factory. He also facilitated 2 billion naira CBN agricultural loan for disbursement to Benue farmers and has evolved a new policy for procurement of fertilizer at highly subsidized rate to farmers. In the hospitality and tourism sector, Governor Ortom retained the Ministry of Culture and Tourism and added arts to it in spite of the rationalization of ministries. The new Ministry of Arts, Culture and Tourism has attracted the National Institute of Hospitality and Tourism to the state, which will commence classes in July 2016. The ministry has revived the annual Cultural People Theatre Festival, Kwahi, and other activities under its scope of operations. In the education sector, Governor Ortom raised 7.6 billion naira for the construction and rehabilitation of over 700 primary schools in the 23 local government areas of the state, as well as arranged for the procurement and installation of 100 computers and portal construction in some of the primary and junior secondary schools in the state. The sector enjoyed further boost with the training of 10,000 primary and 6,000 secondary school teachers. The furniture for 700 primary schools has started arriving at the headquarters of the State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB. Geographical survey for the drilling of 100 boreholes in some of the schools has also been completed.
In fact, if I were to be asked by the federal government which state should be given the Nigeria's honor in terms of basic education development, I would say our young governor here should be.
The state government has also concluded arrangements for the renovation and rehabilitation of 64 post-primary schools. Visitation panels for state-owned tertiary institutions have been constituted, while the reconstitution of Benue State University Council, which has facilitated full accreditation for 7 programs at a time at the university under Governor Ortom. On public-private partnership, Governor Ortom re-engaged development partners who left the state due to non-payment of counterpart funds. Governor Ortom also paid 5.5 billion naira counterpart funds to local and international development partners and also signed MOU with Chinese, Germans and American investors on infrastructure. Committed to ensuring maximum usage of Greater Makudi and other waterworks, Governor Ortom commends reticulation while water supply has been restored in Otoko and Katinala with payment of 900 million naira to the contractor. Under the Benue Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Agency BEWASA, 116 water projects are being executed in Taka, Konshisha, Oju and Ogbadiboleko government areas of the state. In order to drive information and communication technology ICT in the state, Governor Ortom signed an MOU and engaged JM Technologies Limited and procured new digital transmitter as well as established website and live streaming for Radio Benue. Governor Ortom also paid 13 million naira as part of partnership between Benue State and Dar Communication for establishment of AIT radio and television in Makudi. He also mobilized contractor back to site at Benue Printing and Publishing Corporation. Poised to reduce dependence on federal allocation, Governor Ortom has repositioned BIRS with the constitution of new board and management, and proactive steps have been taken with introduction of point of sale POS with increased IGR from 250 million naira to 500 million naira. On women, gender, youths, sports development and people with disabilities, the governor has concluded plans to reconstruct Benue State Rehabilitation Board (API) and rejuvenated Lobby Stars FC through constitution of new board and better funding of its operations. For accountability and transparency, Governor Ortom set up a Judicial Commission of Inquiry into funds accrued from May 29, 2007 to May 29, 2015, an Administrative Commission of Inquiry into sale and lease of government property by the immediate past administration. The Judicial Commission's report indicted the immediate past governor, Dr. Gabriel Suswam, and 51 other individuals and 10 corporate bodies who had to refund 107 billion naira to the coffers of the state government. To show that the Ortom administration has nothing to hide, union leaders have been involved in the disbursement of funds while stakeholders are given regular briefings. Having set the state for an enabling environment for investment to thrive, Governor Ortom effectively utilized his recent visit to China with President Muhammadu Buhari. He attended the Global Canton Fair and made enormous contacts with producers of the latest equipment in all sectors, particularly agro-processing, and anchored the first North Central States Roundtable and Investment Forum in Guangzhou. Governor Ortom signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Wunzhen Group for the establishment of a tractor assembly plant in Makudi and a sister city agreement between Makudi and Langzhou. He finalized discussions with a core investor in the Igumale cement factory for its takeoff. The governor was appointed vice chairman of China Finance and Industry Corporation Summit for Africa and chairman, Nigeria Investment Committee. He also obtained commitment from the Langyang Group for investment into housing, hospitality, and tourism. Although the APC-led administration in Benue State took office at a challenging time, having inherited a deficit treasury, it has recorded milestones that give hope for a better future. The Ortom campaign theme song captures it all when it stated that, though the giants may be on the way to hinder, God will surely give us victory. In God we trust. Though the giants may